Aye, Shepherd's Pie, greetings from the Philippines. Welcome back to the channel for
our cost of living video.
Ellen lives for these, I tell you. She cannot get enough of them. But, which is why we haven't done one for a couple of months. But, yeah, look, I know some of you like them. If you do, buckle up and enjoy the ride. If you don't like them,
skip the video.
Skip the video and watch, wait for another one. So our cost of livings, it has nearly doubled. We will explain why, and we're not unhappy about it. We were expecting it. It's been a conscious decision, but it is still damn low, whichever way you look at it. So I shall just take a sip of my coffee, and I will ask Ellen to hit us with some figures, because the first figures that Ellen will give us, they are our set fees. They do not change. They are the same every month, more or less. So Ellen, what is our rent?
So let's start off with our house rent, which is 15,000 pesos.
See, I'm very impressed. She's written all this down with a pen, but she's not even looking at it. That's
because it's fixed.
That's how organised she is. So yeah, our rent for our little house is 15,000 pesos. So it's quite cheap. You know, a lot of people will say you need to spend more than that. One of the reasons our living costs are low is because our house is quite, our rent is low. But we're happy here. Suits us 90% of the time. Except when there's brownouts, except when the water tank stops working, or the road collapses. But other than that, we're living in heaven. Right, so what else have we got on our costs?
Okay, next is our electricity. And what is this? Last month?
Yep.
Yeah, 2,800 pesos.
Okay, so our electricity is 2,800 pesos. It fluctuates. The lowest it's been has been, I think it was 1,800 one month, and then I think 2,800 is probably the highest it's been. It's never gone to 3,000.
Yeah.
We've got the aircon on now. I don't know if you can hear it. You know, it blows my mind when I meet people who say they've got like 13,000 electricity bills, because I don't know how they do it, but there you go.
Well, maybe because they use the aircon 24/7.
Yeah, but they must be using it in multiple rooms. You know what I mean? Even if we had this on all the time, I don't think it would come to more than 6,000 a month. Don't see how it could do. Anyway, who knows? And we couldn't have it on all the time because you get too cold. I mean, I'm cold now, but she wants it on. So I aim to please. Whatever this lady wants, she gets.
Not true. Not so true.
So anyway, right, so that's our electricity.
So next in line is our water. Yeah, water bill, it's 450.
So it's 450 pesos, and that came as a surprise to Ellen, but not to me. Because I've always thought all along, our bill has always been 50 pesos every month.
Yeah.
And then this month, it was 450. And the bill is broken up to this and that and this and that, and you got all these figures which don't really make any sense. But we'll go down and we'll pay it at the local municipal hall. But I have thought from day one, we have a water meter, and I don't think they come out and read it very often. I think what they've done is similar to the UK. They've just, 50 is the base point, and every month or 6 months or whatever, they come out and do a meter reading. That's what I think has happened, and that's what I always thought would happen. Because I couldn't understand what's the point of having a water meter if the bill is always 50 pesos. But we will find out next week when we go to the municipality and pay it. But not big money, so still low.
Yeah, next is our internet, which is also fixed with 1,599.
So that's 15.99 a month. That's for 100. Was it 100?
I don't know. I don't know how to convert.
No, 100 Mbps or whatever.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's 100 Mbps.
And it's good. It's good. It's obviously when you have a brownout, it's no good. But we could get around that. We could hook it up to the jet anyway. So that's what we pay for that. Could get cheaper for slower. You can pay, I think, another 1,000 and get, was it 200 or 250 or whatever?
Yeah, but 100 is fine.
That's fine for us. I'm saying you have the options. You can go up. We're with Phil Products, and they're not bad. It is Phil Products we're with, isn't it?
Is it? I don't know. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
oh my god, I forgot.
Yeah, I think it's Phil products anyway. So there you go. Now, I've added my visa costs in with this month. Usually we do it separate, but when we were working out the figures, Ellen has put it in with them. So it's 2,000 this month, which is more than it usually costs. I went down to immigration and there was a long queue and I just could not be bothered. So I went to JRC, the visa place, and got them to do it. And it was 4,000 for the 2 months. So that's 2,000 a month, which is more than it should have been because they charge whenever you go there, they always have, oh, you've got I know you pay 1,000 for the service, but there'll always be, some annual report, it's extra, this or whatever. So, I think it's usually about 1,500 a month, but this month it's cost 2,000 because I was too lazy to queue. So fine, it is what it is. Right, so what does that bring us to?
Total is 21,849. So and that's in pounds, that's 295, and in dollars, it's 368.
So there you go. It's just under 22,000 in pesos, £295 in English, and I'm working on the basis because I always get comments about the exchange rates and that. Yeah, I get, but they change, fellas. Just because it's the exchange rate today doesn't mean it was when we made the video. So we're working on the basis of $1.25 to the pound, and we're not doing decimal points. We're rounding everything off, so they're rough estimates but pretty accurate. So yeah, our set costs here are less than £300. That's for our electricity, our internet, the house, our water, and that's set. That's what they are. So what else did we spend?
Since we went to Cebu last month.
So this is why our living costs have gone up. 2 reasons. The first one is we had a holiday. You may have seen the videos. We went to Cebu. Got a good deal. I was amazed how good the deals were because people don't seem to go to Cebu at Christmas, and we know why now, don't we? Because it closes. But how much were our flights?
4,200 pesos.
4,200 pesos. It was basically 1,000 each way. Yeah. Amazing flight. You're in the air 20 minutes. It was a no-brainer. I had thought about going on the bus for blogging value, but that takes hours, and there was no point. So we got a good deal on the flights. So that cost us 4,200 pesos, which is what in English pounds?
56, and in dollars it's 70.
So $70 for our return flights, and the flights were a dream, as I say. The hotel was
6,000. That's for 3 nights.
6,000 pesos for 3 nights. Roughly, I used some of my loyalty points, so it brought the price down a bit, but it was a nice hotel, good breakfast. 6,000 pesos is £81 or $101. So basically, the whole trip all in came to around the £130 mark. Is that right? 80, 50? yeah, £836. That was the hotel and that was the flights. Obviously, we had spending money on top of that. Now, I'm not going to go through every bill that we have in terms of our groceries and things because there's no point. The way I work out how much I spent is I go to the ATM, I draw out 20,000 pesos each time I go, which generally works out about £275. And at the end of the month, I look at my ATM withdrawals and I know how much money I've spent. So, there is method to the madness. So, how many times did we go to the ATM that month on top of that?
How many times?
Right, I've got it. So,
I don't know.
So on top of the amounts we just told you, I did an additional 3 ATM visits, which was 60,000 pesos, which is
810 in pounds and 1,012 in dollars.
US dollars, just to verify, US dollars. There are lots of countries in the world that use dollars. I always get someone who's out of Australia, who's Canadian. We're only talking in US dollars because I got a lot of American viewers who watch the channel. So, if you add everything together in terms of the 3 cash withdrawals and the standard rent costs, etc., what total does it bring, my love?
92,049.
92,049 pesos.
And in pounds, that's 1,243. In dollars, in US dollars,
Well done,
to be
well done.
specific, that's 1,553.
So there you go. Now, a few things we'd like to cover now, which I've been thinking about, because we wanted our costs to go up, did we not? or I did. I'm expecting them to go up more over the coming months, because we've got the travel bug now. So we are planning to go to Thailand in the next few months with our friends Ray and Angel for a week or so. So that's obviously going to, knock up our costs. And how long ago did we decide that we were going to go out more? Or did I decide we were going to go out more? About a month ago, wasn't it?
November, I think that was still in November.
Yeah, if you watch the channel, you will know that I was getting a bit annoyed with the power cuts and all that kind of stuff, and I was getting a bit bored living here. So my answer was, I said to Ellen, let's just embrace the power cuts. Let's just go out when there's a power cut, we'll book a hotel, we'll stay in town, we'll do stuff. And we are now going out a lot more than we were before, in the sense that, I'd have to work this out now, but this week we've gone out every night, haven't we? We didn't go out Tuesday, did we?
Tuesday, yeah.
Monday we went to the North Point.
I think we still went to the North Point. No, wait. Yeah, Kayla, North. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
we went to North Point on Monday.
So we went to the North Point on Monday. We didn't go out Tuesday. Wednesday and Thursday we went to the Kingswick on the Wednesday. We went to Sideways on the Thursday. Last night we went down to where did we go last night? The Square Hub. I'm probably going to go out tonight. So I mean, we are going out more or less every night. I mean, we're probably having 1 or 2 nights, 2 at most.
Sorry.
It's all right. Where we're not going out. And to be honest with you, it's wearing thin. I'm getting a bit bored with it, which is not surprising really, because we're going to more places. We're trying different places. It's like Monday night, I did not enjoy that meal. And I didn't enjoy it last night. So although the idea is good that you're going to go out more and you're going to do more things, it does get a bit samey, because there's about, 5, 6 restaurants we really like.
5 for me. I don't know. Yeah, maybe 5 for me.
Yeah, but you don't want to keep going to the same ones all the time. Well, she doesn't. I could quite happily go to the same 3 restaurants
every.
But
I want to try.
But Ellen likes to try other things, and because of that, she ruins our evenings because we go to bad places.
Excuse me.
So I mean, it's getting to the point now where on Monday and last night I'm thinking,
it wasn't my fault.
No, it wasn't her fault last night. It was one of the few times she had agreed that we could go to somewhere I wanted to. We were going to go to Cafe Racer on last night, because we were going to go on Monday, but then she talked me into trying this Korean place instead, and I didn't like it. So we decided to go last night, but then it rained, and it rained so heavily we got stuck at this place in Bakong, and we just pulled up the bike and had dinner there, and it was lousy. It was lousy. And it just got me thinking, I'm getting bored with this going out. I mean, you've got to strike a balance, but sometimes it's better to, we'd have had a better meal if we'd stayed in last night, so what I'm getting at here is, in a roundabout way, is even going out a lot more, even going to
the quizzes.
The quizzes? No, I'm talking about going to Cebu. Even going to Cebu, we're still spending, $1,500 a month.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm going to get to now, and I haven't told Ellen I'm going to say this, and she's probably going to get angry with me, and the video will stop, and then I'll re-edit it, and then she'll come back and she'll have a smile on her face pretending we haven't had an argument. But this is important that you understand this. although we've gone out more, some of our living costs have come down. For example, Ellen bought a scooter a couple of months ago. So because she bought this scooter, which we're going to do a video on shortly, I will upload it this week. I've done most of it, I'm just too lazy to edit it in.
What for?
What?
What for?
Because people will want to see what it's like buying a scooter, and we can talk about the registration documents and how that works. We've got lots of things to say, and I know you're keen as mustard. She doesn't want to go. She's got a picture of her holding the key and all this stuff, you know, when they got the bike.
Don't do that so long.
But the point is, things like that have brought our costs down. But what I'm getting at here is, I am not suggesting that anyone should live on our budget. We don't have a budget. I keep saying that in the videos. Our costs are what our costs are. You know, and the reality is, nowhere we go for a meal costs more than 1,000 pesos. Because she will either have one beer or invariably a milkshake. I will have 2, 3 at the most, because I've got a scooter. So, you know, I can't. A couple of nights when I've gone into town, I've stayed in a hotel, we're going to wait, it might have come to 1,500 the night, but you know, it is a cheap place in terms of food and alcohol, really. I think there are some restaurants here you could potentially spend 2,000 or 3,000. You could do that up at the, what's that place called? The Gorge or whatever it is.
The George Steakhouse in the
Anyway, there are a few places here where you can get like a 3,000, 3,500 peso steak or whatever. But I tend not to like places like that. I don't like the waiters looking over your shoulder, and you know, I just don't like. You know, I like to sit down. I like, you know, I mean, I like good, honest food. But anyway, the point is, we are going out a lot. We are eating out a lot. We're doing more. We're trying to make the most of Dumaguete. I'm trying to make it excite me, because I'm getting a bit bored living here. I'm fantastically happy with Ellen. There have been times like New Year and that have been a real letdown because it's nothing's happening here. She went off and left me, went up to the mountains and left me at my own devices.
I invited you.
And I had a terrible.
Do you want to come?
And I had a terrible night. But there you go. Not as bad as if I'd have gone home. But anyway, what I'm getting at is, and this is the bit that Ellen's probably not going to want me talking about, is I think we are in a very unusual relationship, Ellen and I. I touched on it in my previous video. When I say I think we're in an unusual relationship, I don't have any empirical evidence to support this. It's just a conversation I had. It's like when Ellen bought the scooter, she bought a scooter entirely herself. She paid for it cash. But when I have told people that we got a new scooter, Ellen's got a new scooter, they immediately say, "What did you buy her?" And I'm like, "Well, I didn't buy anything. She bought it herself." And they look at you like, "Really? How did that happen?" So I can only conclude, and the more people I speak to, the more people I interview, the more people I chat with, I say a large percentage of people in the Philippines, or Westerners who seem to be in relationships with Filipinos, are paying them a certain amount each month, whether it goes to the family, whether it's an allowance, etc, etc, etc. We don't do that. So I'm looking at her face now, see if she's smiling, or if she's going to go, "Madeline, why did you talk about this?" But Ellen,
stop you.
But Ellen is, as I said before, Ellen is.
You only told me earlier.
But Ellen is financially independent. She's got a good job. She earns a lot more than the average Filipino, and she wants to be independent. She has never asked me for anything in terms of money. Now, I pay all the bills in the house. When we go out, we go to Spoon. Yeah, of course it's on me. You know, no problem with that. But I am not giving Ellen a set amount. I am not giving any money to her family. I'm not doing anything like that. She has never asked me to. And if I offered, she would say no. For example, the scooter. I was going to go in with her with that. She didn't want any help with that. Because she's independent. And I respect that. And I'm not saying our relationship is any better for that or whatever. What I'm saying to you is, this is a big factor in why our expenses are low. Because obviously, if I was giving Ellen X amount, then our living expenses would be going up, wouldn't they? If I was giving money to her family, our living expenses would be more. So, you'll get comments all the time like, no, yeah, but you're paying for this and you've got to get this for her and she's, I'm not doing it because we're not in that relationship. She doesn't want it, doesn't need it. So what I'm trying to say is I'm warning you. It would appear that the likelihood is if you come out here, you are not going to be in a relationship like us. I think we are quite unusual. So you need to factor those costs in. You may end up in a situation where you are paying for a family. You may end up in a situation where you are giving X amount.
Don't say paying, it's a harsh word. Just say giving.
Okay, giving. Well, yeah, okay, giving. I'm not making any judgments here. I'm just saying, a lot of people over here seem to be in those kind of relationships. I would say the vast majority. And there's nothing wrong with that. We don't have a problem with that. There's nothing wrong with that, is it? I mean, if that's the way people want to live, I just don't want to give people the impression that everyone will be able to live as cheaply as we do in that sense. Because if you live in a different city, your living costs are going to be more. As I've said, we don't go out much in Previously. We do not go out during the day. Ellen gets up early in the morning. She does her work online. She generally likes to have a sleep in the afternoon. Doesn't like going out in the sun. I've always been a night hawk. I would much rather go out in the evening than I would during the day. So we're not going out and buying coffees and things like that, which I'm sure would, but I'm happy making a coffee, and I don't like coffee shops. So I'm not going to mention the guy, but we know someone, a really nice American guy who we see around from time to time. He lives in a hotel in the city, and he pays, I think it's $24,000 a month for the hotel room. And I think that's all his bills and things. He thinks it's a great deal, if it works for him. I couldn't live in a hotel room full time, I want a kitchen in a house. But there you go. And he said to me before a couple of times, I don't know how you live so cheaply. And I'm thinking, well, I don't know how you're living more expensively than me, because the guy doesn't drink. Only ever has a Coke, spends his time walking around. He always seemed a really nice guy, but I don't know what he spends his cash on. I can only assume it's coffees and things. I think he must go out, get up in the morning, walks around, he probably goes to a coffee shop, probably has a slice of cake, etc., etc. That's not us. But if it is you, then that will possibly put your living costs up. I don't know how much. I don't know. We're going round in circles here. We'll end this video soon. But I'm just saying to you, we don't want to give you the impression. What I am not doing, I do not on this channel want to create or give the impression that everything is fantastic here, that you'll be able to live like a king for X and it's all wonderful and all the rest of it, because life isn't like that. I'm not suggesting, if there are a lot of people who say that you cannot live here for less than $3,000 or $4,000 a month. Well, maybe they can't in their lifestyles. And as I say, I'm not going to talk about Ellen's finances again, just making the point that is probably a big factor in why our living costs are less, because it's common sense. We have two of us, we're both financially independent, we've got two salaries coming in. Well, not two salaries, because Ellen doesn't pay for any of the bills really, but you get what we're saying. So you may struggle to find a relationship like that. You may not want a relationship like that. I'm quite sure some of the people who pay the money to their girlfriends and they expect a certain service for it. They're getting their meals cooked 3 times a day and all the rest of it. We have a division of labour, do we not? Some days I cook, some days she cooks, I will do the washing certain days, she will do the washing other days. I can't expect Ellen to wait on me hand and foot because she's got a job and I don't have a job. So it is, you might not want that relationship. You may well decide that, I don't know, 10,000, 20,000, 30, whatever you want to give your girlfriend, because you want her to be a housewife and look after you and service your every needs. Fine. But you've got to factor that into the costs. That's all I'm saying. And it's like with our grocery costs. Our grocery costs are very low because we don't eat much, do we? Because we're eating out a lot. We tend to eat in restaurants more. It is. Anyway, there you go. So our living costs have gone up. They're almost, not far off. I thought they'd be more than this, to be honest with you. I thought they'd be double, but they haven't. Which is strange, as I say, because, you know, we're going out all the time. But as I say to you, I keep going now. We're saving $5,000 a month from the bike because Ellen's bought it. Well, that $5,000 would pay for 5 meals out. So I suppose it's not surprising that our bills haven't, you know, really doubled. But yeah, it is what it is. Not saying you can live on what you can. I'm sure you can live cheaper. A lot of people live a lot cheaper than we do. A lot of people live on a lot more than we do. Your costs are your costs. It's the lifestyle you want. Not encouraging anyone, you know, to live our lifestyle. I just thought it was important to say, you know, about in terms of, because I'm always exploring why our costs are so cheap or low compared to some people who always say, oh, you can't live on this. And I think, what do they spend their money on? And it has come to my attention. It was the bike. It really was the bike. Because about 4 or 5 people said to me, why did you get that bike? And I said, because Ellen liked it. So, okay, well, you should have got something. It's her bike. I said, well, you bought it for her. I said, no, I didn't. You know what I mean? So they were just assuming. They assume that your girlfriend over here is, you know, relying on you for money. And in this case, she's not. Anyway, there we go. I've got a feeling I'm going to get a punch in the stomach after we've done this video, because I never told her.
I'm not a violent person.
Oh,
but maybe the silent treatment will.
Yeah. Okay. We've covered everything there, have we? And the other thing as well. So, all that's done. Cars. See, these are another thing. A lot of people, we don't have a car. I don't want a car. There are a couple of times, like last night when it rained, you know, it would have been easier to have a car, but it's very rare that happens, and I don't want the hassle of parking in town now. They drive me nuts, these parking people coming out and things like that. So a car is not for us. If I was in Cebu, a car would not be for us. The reason I'm saying this is the last video I did, people were saying you can't live on that, you've got to factor in your costs, you've got to plan your car price and all this kind of. Again, you're assuming that you have to have a car. You know, a lot of these people will make, and I encourage the comments. I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm just saying take a step back, because you will list things in your, you need this and you need that. Not everybody does. Not everybody, you know, I don't want to have a car here. You're tapping me, what are you going to say?
I'm not tapping, I'm tapping myself.
I thought you were going to contribute. But anyway, so, you know, this is what I'm saying to people. You know, we all live differently. Because I had a couple of the last video, you know, where you might be able to live on 1,000, but you've got to have your setup costs, you've got to have this, you've got to have that. And I can't remember, but there are 3 or 4 things that I'm thinking, don't have to have those at all. You know, one of the subscribers, Leroy, was saying the other day, one of the attractions of living in Cebu to a newbie would be the fact they don't need to have a scooter, they don't need to have a car. Because the moles, you know, if you live near the moles and things. So, you know, some places these are going to be hindrances. If you're living up a mountain, and of course you're going to need a 4-wheel drive or whatever, you know, it's horses for courses. I'm just saying, you know, we're not all the same. Anyway, I've gone on. Ellen's going to talk for the last 5 minutes now. She's got a few things she wants to say to you. So I will just sit back here and listen. And listen to. No, you were saying earlier on you wanted to. Now, is there anything you would like to add, my lovely?
No, let me think about it. Nothing.
All right. I knew that was going to be the answer.
I don't want to talk.
I know.
I've been talking for 6 hours.
You've been talking, who to?
To my respondents.
Oh, right, to your client. Well, talking. Who's been talking for 6 hours if she means working? She does work for 6 hours. She spends the rest of the day looking at her phone, bidding at live auctions. God, it's driving me nuts, but there you go. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button. If you haven't subscribed, it would be fantastic if you did. But whether you do or whether you don't, wherever you are,
be lucky. Is that what you always do? Be lucky.
Stay safe, be lucky.
Oh.
Stay safe. Be lucky.